Alexa, volume up a couple notches.
Looks down, nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby.
Oh, it's not gonna work. I mean, I can't fit the cord in for my microphone. Oh!
He's my baby, and I'm his honey. Never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize.
You ever watch those Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick videos? Kevin Bacon talk like I know him, like Kevin posts. Oh, so I'm pretty proud of myself. Normally, after a day like today, I would be ready to give a rant, but you know, I went to mass tonight, and I do not feel the need. Oh, I'm trying to be more graceful and tactful and less badass. Hardcore. But anyway, oh my gosh, so what I was thinking of, hi, I see I have one person watching. How you doing? I missed who you are. Hi. But I've got song makes me laugh. All right, so I'm live on YouTube. You can see the YouTube link featured. It says that it's featured. Tap to show the feature this link. All right, so we're gonna show. So let me know. All right, let me know if you can see that. And I was gonna experiment with the microphone through YouTube. Oh, you know, I might be able to, because I want to know if on YouTube, if you're able to hear me while I'm doing a live and what the sound quality's like. All right. But I can see I can slip the cord. So when you like, follow, share, subscribe, set stars, guess what? That helps Shena get new equipment. But I have a creative idea. One thing I've always been in my life, and I think this is, other than, oh, it's not gonna bend right. Shoot. Okay, I can do this. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. Oh, no, that's too tall. Let's see. All right, so bear with me. Amy, hi! I'm trying to set up here. I'm using books. I'm trying to go live on YouTube too, and I've got my microphone hooked up, and I don't know so I don't know if anybody can hit that link, if you can see it. Can you see the I figured out how to add a link there on Facebook. If you can see it, let me know. Yeah, I know, right? So, but my microphone's on, but look at it, it's making all these beautiful colors. It's not coming through the video very well, but it's pink and blue and light blue and purple and all these pretty colors. And usually it makes one color. Well, it is on. I just don't know if on the YouTube channel, if people can hear me. I don't have anybody tune into my YouTube live yet. All right. So I'm pretty proud of myself today. So in spite of myself, we'll be sitting on a rainbow. All right. So tonight's mood is brought to you by John Prine. So, well, what do I want to talk about tonight? This in no way am I promoting. Is Deed Medical Center still a place? I guess I've been at the UW for so long. Alexa, volume down a couple notches. But this cup has significance. Ow, George. And I got to thinking about cups, and I got to thinking about, so this is Sheena rabbit holing and talking about things. and me feeling proud of my composure after what I experienced today and what I went through. Anybody tuning in? I'm live on YouTube. I usually have pick up a few followers by now. Maybe they didn't like my naughty words last time. So, did I use naughty words last time? I don't know. Probably. Ooh, pirate mouth over here. Anyway, I've actually heard that. Oh, can you hear me? Somebody's on my YouTube channel. I want to see if I can see comments. Okay. Live chat. Okay, welcome to our live chat. All right. Can you, let me see. Let me, send me a message. Something pops up. Can you hear me? I want to know if this mic, I'm trying out a mic and I don't know if you're able to hear me through the YouTube stream. On Facebook, you can hear me. You're just through my phone stream. Hi. Oh, it's Amy. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, I love your channel name. Can you hear me? There's probably some lag and delay. There usually is between the channels. So let me know if you can hear me. I just saw your chat. Backyard Broomtails. Ooh. So I'm going to give a little shout out and embarrass Amy. You can hear me? Really? Does it sound horrible or is it muffled? I'm going to have to watch the live later. So I need to tweak my, there's these little controls on the mic. It sounds good? Cool. George says hi. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate you doing that, Amy. Thanks. Well, woo, this works. Okay. So now if we just had a camera person, that would help, or a you know, so I'm not propping up on books, I'm a little angly. I'm trying to work on my quality of my videos, and I think I'm doing pretty good with headspace and stuff on the Facebook. All right, so this cup here, Facebook is delayed compared to YouTube. Well, very interesting. All right, huh? Wonder why that is. Facebook is probably censoring me to bleep out my cuss words. Well, welcome to the Shena Show. So shout out. I have a podcast. We have 2 people watching now. There we go. I have a podcast called Bantering Fools. So, and I'm resuming work on it this year. So working on that and working on amping up my creation. Facebook page is almost to 10,000. It's not the same at time. So I'm working on my creating and my quality of content. And of course, at this point, my equipment, things get so outdated. It looks so grainy on my iPad compared to my phone. But then, I don't know, this is interesting. But the microphone, this is a Fifine microphone, pink for BC, you know, because I'm a cancer survivor. And, so, but Bantering Fools, my podcast, and I always joke about it's the Shena Show. So for those of you that are Gen X, you probably remember the Judy Miller Show, Gilda Radner and the Judy Miller Show, and she was this really hyper kid that used to jump around her room a lot and stuff, and it just so I love the videos of those old classic Saturday Night Lives, and so I remind myself of that sometimes. So it's the Shena Collins Show. Oh, and I have 2 people now watching on the tube. All right, well, interesting, and I'm glad people can hear me. So back to the cup. I spill coffee all over. So, and literally, I only wash my coffee cup like once a week. So I don't know if you can see on the inside how it's all stained from coffee, and that kind of goes. So, well, I do and I don't. All right. So I have a funny story to tell you. So when I was a little girl, I would say, not real little, almost, I was probably teenager-ish. My mom, so I was doing dishes And my dad's coffee cup was sitting there by the coffee pot on the counter. So the coffee pot was there and the cup, you know, the whole get up. So my mom too, my whole family are big coffee drinkers. And I went to grab my dad's cup to wash it. And my mom was like, no, 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 don't wash that cup, don't wash that cup. And I'm like, it needs to be washed. So anyway, my mom was a very superstitious woman and got me thinking Stevie Wonder. Very superstitious, riding on the wall. Oh, I love old Stevie Wonder. He's so good. And man, he could sing when he was a boy. Holy cow, like some of his early stuff, he sounds like I don't even know how old he was when he did it. Anyway, back to the coffee cup story. So I went to wash my dad's coffee cup. And my mom saw me grab it. She about died. And I'm like, what? Well, my mother shared with me that she had a superstition. Okay, so she didn't say it was a superstition. But what she said to me is, she goes, on the days your dad's in a good mood, I don't wash the cup because if he continues drinking out of the cup, stays in a good mood. so every morning my mom was pouring him his coffee because she'd get up to get him ready to go to work, even though she would work second shift and get very little sleep. And she was a night owl like me, and my dad got up at 4 a.m. And so she'd get up, start his coffee, and pour him his coffee in that same mug if he was in a good mood. And if he was in a bad mood, then she would wash the coffee mug. So I've kind of carried that weird superstition with me in my life, or it could just be that I'm lazy and it's just coffee and I don't feel the need that all I need to do is just wipe the lipstick off the rim. So I think that's a funny story, but I should really be holding and promoting UW Health. So but this cup is very significant to my cancer journey, because my friend Darla, who took care of me, and look, it even has a little lid. She had worked at Dean, and this coffee cup, because I'm such a big coffee drinker, Darla helped take care of me when I was going through chemo, and I would stay at her house. I would get a ride down to Madison the night before chemo, and I'd spend the night at her house. Then I'd go do my chemo, and then I'd come back, and then I would spend at least 1 to 2 days there, depending on how I felt. But this cup was at her house, and this was always Sheena's cup. That was the deal, because when you're going through chemotherapy, you want to be careful. So especially in those first couple days after they give you the radioactive juice. Like, they even recommend that you use a separate bathroom, that you flush the stool twice. Don't get next to anybody and sweat on them. It's kind of like LSD. It rubs off in your sweat. And I just thought of that because I was listening to, when I came home, I had a folk music playing and on Alexa, and John Prine's Illegal Smile was playing. So that's what got me thinking of that. So anyway, this cup has significance for all sorts of things. And speaking of cups, my cup overfloweth with joy. I need to go grab a coffee refill before we move on with the rest of this conversation. So excuse me, it's intermission time. I'll be right back. So give me a shout out if you're new to my page or whatnot and you feel comfortable. So ask me some questions, do some laugh emojis, like, share, follow, subscribe. Developing my content. And seriously, I'm serious. I have a lot of content. I just need like an organizer. I need a personal assistant manager to put it all together for me. All right, I'm gonna go get some more coffee. I'll be right back. Child that's grown old. Good song. Bonnie Raitt does this song, and my favorite version is done by Susan Tedeschi. I like Angel from Montgomery. All right, anyway, speaking of my cup floweth over, I got to thinking about something tonight. So I mean, I make it no mystery that 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 I'm a very, I don't know. I try to be in touch with myself and the world, and I've done. I'm a Reiki master, a Shambhala master. I've done all this spiritual stuff. I'm a practicing Catholic. So, my life through my journey has been really, really, really interesting. I went to a Lutheran college, so I did all this stuff in between. So, it's like those missing years of Jesus, it's the missing years of Shena. And I spent a long time and really developing, but I love my faith. And I was thinking tonight, so I have this total alter ego on Twitter, and Twitter is so atrocious right now. It's full of I mean, like, Twitter's mean. Like, way mean. Like, I don't know. But I got to thinking about looking at church. Amy, did you get my message? Was that you that made me the sticker that I forgot about that's probably been waiting for me and I feel bad? Let me know. So, yes, I'll have to shoot you my telephone number and we'll get in touch. And I'm bad at checking messages if you messaged me, so just be aware of that if you send me private messages. Yeah, I'm really bad at checking them. Because a lot of spam. You have to weed through all the eggplant pictures. What is up with that? Stop that. Like, I swear, I don't need that image. Those images I burned into my eyeballs. Ugh. Like, I don't know where you think that's gonna help you pick up a girl. All right, so the story of the cup I just told. The YouTube link is working. The Fi-Fi mic is working. And this, I'm so excited. So I got sent by a friend an audition for a part, a voice acting part. So this is the microphone. I just want to give a plug. This is not a paid endorsement at all, but I did look this up, and this is for the value for the value of this. This is one of the best mics that you could get, and I notice a lot of YouTubers, podcasters use this mic, and it comes in all different kinds of colors. And this is not a paid promotion. This is me just promoting this because it seems to be working. My sound guy says I need to tweak the sound a little bit on my recording, so I'm working on that. There's a learning curve, and I'm not a very patient person. So my cup shall runneth over quicker, I hope. Well, anyway, so I hear my stories all go roundabout, so you have to follow them. All right, so here, look at this. This is my journal that I started on December 28th. I have almost filled up this entire journal. So the creativity is just flowing through me. And I also too, I like to read a lot. My eyes do weird things though since the chemo. Plus the eye doctor said I'm in a weird space with my age. However, so I got to thinking about church stuff. And I got to thinking about Twitter and how people fight and fight and fight and fight. They light and fight. They light and bite and fight. The Itchy and Scratchy Show, Ren and Stimpy. Gen X, all the way over here, baby. But I, oh my gosh, I used to love watching Ren and Stimpy. But I got to thinking about this, and as I'm watching people fight on Twitter and people being like offended by the representation of the year of Jubilee and getting told that I'm one of those Catholics, my journey's taken a long route to get here. But I really got to thinking about it tonight. And why I bring up the journal is because I take my journal to Mass with me, because that you never know what part of the homily that and for those of you that are not Catholic, the homily is like the sermon, and you never know what nuggets of wisdom come forth, and or what you hear or what you learn. Matthew Kelly, who is a speaker and a writer that I absolutely love, I love his style. Like if I could emulate a speaker, it would be Matthew Kelly. Like just the way he writes too. It's he has this great book called Life is Messy. I wonder if I have a copy of it out here. I I often carry copies of it with me because I like to give it to people. Let's see. Yes, I do. Look at that. Oh, and very interesting. Right next to Sophocles' Antigone. This is actually, and I remember we read this in Did we read this in Mr. Moses' class in 7th grade? But we read this at Wartburg College, and actually I think this is my copy from Wartburg College. So, anyway, yes, this is from Wartburg. It has the little red symbol, used books. Anyway, so Life is Messy by Matthew Kelly. And in no way am I a paid endorser or affiliated with Matthew Kelly or its publisher in any way. All right, so let's just make that clear. Everything on the Shena show is all the opinions of Shena. So, me. And they're not meant to endorse or anything. And the only thing that I really gripe about in life is the man. So, going through cancer, I have experienced so much of the system. Live, laugh, love. Hey. Thanks for joining the live. So, I'm Shena Collins, as you may know, cancer survivor and thriver, motor mouth of the South. But actually, I'm from the North. Anyway, so now, how did I get sidetracked into talking about Matthew Kelly? Because I like his speaking style. But I got to thinking tonight at Mass with all of the, and my alter ego on Twitter, which is where I get to take out a lot of angst, and be really sassy and hide behind this profile and, but I watch all these people fighting over religion and what's better, and I don't want to go to church and because it's boring, and if they do more things to entertain us and blah 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 blah. Hi Michael, thanks for joining the live. And they say all that stuff, and you know what? I do not like that. Church is not supposed to be about a rock band and cookies. It's supposed to be a place where you're supposed to be quiet and get in touch with God. Get in touch with your spirituality. And, whatever that may be, regardless of whom we worship, we should not judge other people for worshiping. And I guess maybe I'm, a little sensitive because it always seems like Catholics get a bad rap, but my journey has not been linear with Catholicism. Oh, that's why I thought about Matthew Kelly. Talking about, because his journey, I think that he's a convert. So, don't quote me on that, though. I'll have to double check. But thinking about how people fight and how we have wars over the Holy Land and stuff, and this is in no way meant to be a political discussion. It's just meant to be a philosophical discussion. If you look at my YouTube description, I put hashtag philosopher, hashtag comedian. And really it's, as George Carlin would say, it's my brain droppings. It literally is. It's my brain droppings. But it struck me as we're sitting there at Mass tonight with a handful of people on a Tuesday night. Granted, it's cold and we have snowbirds that fly south. But, it should be important. We all have to have something to believe in, Who sings the song, give them something to believe in? I want to say Bon Jovi, but that's not right. Um, uh, oh, who sings that song? Somebody tell me. Give them something to believe in. I can hear the drums and the guitar in my head, but I can't think of the song. Chemo did that to me. I have huge gaps in my memory, and I have maybe trauma did that too. Trauma does the same thing. All right, but I got to thinking about energy and higher powers and what we choose to worship and how we choose to worship. And I have had the opportunity to just spend time with people from all over. Poison. Poison, thank you. Yes, it is Poison. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, backyard broomtails. Poison sings that. Something to believe in, yes. But it, and all of a sudden, an image of my cats came to mind. Okay, and a story was told to me by a friend of mine. So recently in Westfield, we had a gentleman pass away, and he was a member of our parish. And a friend of mine, and he's always said, "Oh, I got nothing against the Catholics," blah 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 blah. Well, he he was telling me a story how he didn't realize that this person belonged to the church and did so much activity, because here he goes, here I am bashing the Catholics and blah blah blah, and the whole time, here's Jim sitting back being quiet. And that is one thing. Tonight on Tuesdays, Jim would always come to mass, and so it was weird, lacking that other energy. You do feel when there's, I don't know, it's just, So anyway, the story I was laughing about, and the guy that was bashing the Catholics, he said, he goes, he never once did Jim say a word about it, or did he say he was Catholic, or did he ever get mad, or did he ever, treat me differently, and he never came out, whereas me, Sheena, I would close my store downtown and put closed in observance of Good Friday. I mean, and I would. And I know that can ruffle feathers. It may look, people are like, oh my gosh, how does that, it's like putting a political sign in your yard if you are a business owner, but we all have to stand for something, right? And I think everybody knows that I stand for unity and love and peace. Oh, static from the microphone. I wonder if it's because I'm moving. It says that you might get that, and I'm bumping the. Is it still okay? All right, I'm gonna try to quit moving. Yes, I am. I am bumping the table and stuff. So yes. And that's one thing that it did recommend with the microphone. Thank you for noticing that. I was fidgeting and whacking the table, but it recommends that you purchase a boom. So one of those extender arms to put the mic on. It does come with the stand, but it did say in the directions, and when I watched the YouTube videos on getting the best quality. Yeah, bumping the table, that's what was causing it. All right. Thank you. Helping me improve my video quality. Thank you, Backyard Broom Tales. Thank you, Backyard Broom Tales. All right. Okay. So, yes, and I'm talking to, I'm live on YouTube as well. So I've got the link here. So go ahead and head over there to my YouTube channel if you'd like. You can like my channel, follow it, share, subscribe. My YouTube channel has all the way back in my cancer journey a lot of videos. My GoFundMe does too, but I revamped my GoFundMe one time. Hey, Frank. And when I did that, I took down several parts. I was trying to make it so it was more appealing. Speaking of the GoFundMe, we are now $600 away from completely finishing it. Wow. This fundraising started in 2020, and so that's really exciting, and it shows persistence and never giving up. But going back to my story, so talking about being at church and thinking about all this stuff, so I thought of my cats. All right, so we all pretty much agree or feel that there's something greater than us, no matter what that is or what we choose to call it or whom we choose to worship. But we tend to fight over it. And we tend to convert people. We tend to, or try to, think that our way is best. And what I like about the Catholic Church is the ritual, the quiet. I'm not going to church to be entertained. I'm going there to get in touch with my inner being, my higher and greatest self. I'm there so that I get filled up. And Oh, and my same friend, and this we'll side tangent after this. Let me finish this story about the cats. So many years ago, the old farmhouse my husband and I had on Fifth Street, we would get mice, and we had cats, 3 cats. And the 2 cats would always sit and look under the stove and wait. And wow, if you've ever seen a cat just go and catch it, like amazing, like wow, it was so cool to see, witness. Well, anyway, one time, and either Georgie or Maury caught a mouse, and the 2 cats that were waiting there for it ended up fighting over it, all right? And in the background is Larry. Larry's just sitting back watching what's going on. And Maury and Georgie are fighting over the mouse. And all of a sudden, the mouse goes whoop and runs off. And guess who grabs the mouse and runs away with it? Larry. So while earned Chandra Zanders is live right now. She's another creator I follow. I like her. Larry's running with the mouse. He has captured it while everybody else was too busy fighting over it. And you even see that within parishes. You know, it should be this way. It shouldn't be that way. I don't like this. I don't like that. Blah, 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 blah. But here's what I've noticed. If you are the one that just sits back, you're there because of, hey, what are you chewing up, Jack? Hey, shame on you. Hey, dude, dogs are like children. They do things naughty when you're not paying attention. And when they're too quiet, you gotta beware. What is that? No, I don't even know what you're eating. Something you don't need. Okay. But when you're not fighting about something, you're better able to sit back and have the true benefit of it, which segues into the other part of this conversation tonight. So my same friend who was talking about the other guy being quiet and talking about the Catholic religion and stuff, for some reason, some people think that if you do a lot of involvement in a church, or if you like to participate and help, they think you must be doing it to try to pay penance for something. And now, granted, some people do. So I know old Vern Dog, my boyfriend from high school or college, his dad, in his retirement, drove the nuns around in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And he said he felt like that was his penance he needed to do to try to get into heaven. But literally, you know, I would hope for the vast majority of people, you are not attending any kind of parish or service or spiritual gathering in attempts to like win or buy your way into heaven, or, you know, as an atonement for your sins. I hope that you have a bigger purpose, that you're getting something greater out of it. You know, and for me to have somebody say to me, I hope that it's clearing up your souls, you know, and I'm happy for you that you're making right for your sins and you're doing all this. I'm like, you really think that? I don't feel that way. I haven't been a perfect person. I'm a human. And but I don't ever look at that like it's my duty and I need to go so that I can buy my way into heaven. I don't think that way at all. So, I mean, because quite ultimately, none of us are going to know until we're gone from this world what awaits. We just have faith and blind faith and have, like Poison said, something to believe in. We all need something to believe in. You know, and if you are going for atonement for your sins, that's great too. I'm Catholic. That's what we have confession for. You know, and I don't believe that faiths are too rigid. That's another excuse that people use. But you can adjust things to your life. get all these weird invites. I don't know. Childcare homemakers. I I don't know why that would pop up, other than I've had conversations lately with people about when I get my down the road far enough here, and I know I'm going to live, and I'm financially stable again. I think that I'd like to be a house mom, and you know, foster some teenagers that need it. Um, and but yeah, that's exactly it. John Prine distracts me. He's a poet. He's a singer-songwriter. I like him. But yeah, that's exactly kind of what I think. Like, while other people are busy fighting over that religion, or who's right and who's wrong, and who to worship and who not to, and what's wrong with the way you're worshiping, or who's doing this or who's doing that. The people that aren't busybodying themselves with that, and if you remove yourself from that, and if you remove all judgment, you're there for your true purpose, to find that inner peace, that God particle, that, like, if you don't bother yourself with things of this world, you get that calming peace, that like in here, I can't describe it. And there are so many ways to get to this way of this altered state of consciousness, and being in a space of manifestation. And trust me, it's not giving money to Joel Osteen's mega church. Like, I'm sorry. Beware of that. And that's another thing that bothers me, is people say, oh, always asking for money, and oh, and gotta give money, and gotta give money. If you're looking at it that way, then you're going about it all wrong. It's okay to pass by the collection plate, because a lot of collecting is given online these days. So a lot of times the plate just passes on by people. But if you believe in something, you should want to see it grow and nurture it. And if you think about what you waste that that $5 on, that $20 on, what does it hurt to support something? You would go pay $20 for a movie ticket and watch a movie for an hour and a half. What is wrong? What is wrong with paying that to go have your cup filled up every weekend or during the week? I know that I walk away from church feeling good. And it doesn't even have to be in a Catholic church. It could be anywhere where people gather in the presence of God. And yes, there is nature, and we can say, all right, there's, I can go out in nature and that's my church. That is totally fine. You can be Mandy Morris, and your church can be driving along some backcountry roads and cranking up Johnny Cash. And, is it Mandy Morris? Mandy Morris? This is my church. And hey, was it something when, I don't know. Can't think of the words. Chemo. I'm telling you, this brain. So, which leads me all the way back around to the front of the story, where I was talking how I can't believe I'm so calm. And I spent the day dealing with insurance. I was supposed to go for injections today. And this goes back to picking your battles. My battles are going to be with the system, with the man. I have experienced so much in the last decade of my life. And this also ties into my spirituality. I feel like I've been given, and Father in confession, you're not supposed to talk about confession. Father said, and when I told it, that, I feel anger over the years I've lost. I feel anger for this happening to me. And, and instead, and you read this everywhere. And, if you look around me, what I'm reading right now, the blue zones of happiness, and I grab stuff and just read it. So a little bit at a time. They say if you read 3 to 4 pages a night, you actually read, what is it? 4, 5, 6, 7 books a year. I don't remember. I'm reading Dirty French. Vivi. I'm reading Thriller. It's a bunch of short horror stories. And I am no way unassociated with any of this stuff. And I usually, the way, like, books like this, like Anatomy of Spirit, like, I usually just open it up, blink, come to a page, and I feel that whatever is pointed out to me is something I need to hear. And as I opened up Carolyn Mrs. Anatomy of Spirit, it says, among God's stories, however, the Jewish tradition is unique because Yahweh is never depicted. Well, can't say that word on here. All right. Read the book if you want to know what I'm reading. Page 65. All right. And The Can't Survive. This is probably the one that I'm reading the most because thriving through this in this living space is different and unique. And I find myself rather calm and, you know, I can't say that I've been beaten down to shut my big mouth and experienced so much injustice that I'm broken and I'm going to give up. However, I do know why people do. I understand how it happens now. My makeup looks better on Facebook than it does on YouTube. And I also know the spirit not to give up. And you know, when somebody tells you you're just one person, you're not going to make a difference, I don't think that that's true. You know, and I kept stating today is, you know, I'm also here to speak as a mouthpiece for the people that do not stand up to this type of treatment of people and messing with somebody's life and so on and so forth in this very flawed system. You know, and especially as I'm learning to live as a cancer survivor and manage my continued care, battling an insurance company on what an insurance company thinks and what you think. I mean, it's so critical. I mean, you really have to push and advocate, and it's a lot of moving pieces. I mean, I'm on the phone with doctors and I'm learning things about like peer reviews where the insurance company will get together with the medical care teams and all of this stuff, but you have to advocate for yourself. And I always tell these people when I call, and I know I'm just reaching the gatekeepers because the supervisor's standing over their shoulders trying to get them off the phone with loudmouth Shena as soon as possible. But Shena doesn't stop. And I explain my situation and I explain what I feel is wrong because I know that people record these calls and I know there's quality control. And when I speak collectively for we as people, not just me. I'm not concerned just about me, but I am concerned about me. Don't get me wrong, but my scope of concern is vaster than myself. And I'm a pit bull. I do not let go. And I mean, I really think I should have gone to law school. And I think I talked about this. You know, there's a saying to move in silence as you do your work, and then when you've arrived, you know. So basically, be humble and until people know you own the bakery. What other ways are there to put it? But I looked into going to law school. It's still achievable. But when I looked at it as far as from a financial aid package, I didn't realize that you get a lifetime of financial aid. Like your ability to borrow federal student aid is cumulative. It's cumulative. You get a capped amount and you can spend up to that amount. I really did not realize this. So here I was thinking, oh, you know, you see all these commercials. Oh, get all this money, go back to school. Oh, let's do job rehabilitation and training now that you're changed and you can't function as a normal person with a normal job anymore because you have all these multiple disabilities and cancer and you're disabled. Oh, but guess what? You don't look disabled. Hi, I'm Shena Collins. Welcome to my page. So I use my mouthpiece Thank you, Secret Santa. And I use my God-given mouthpiece. I use my tenacity. And what drives me is a greater purpose to improve life for others. You know, I'm not here to go with the crowd. I am not here to, I would say, even lead the crowd, but I'm here to rally the crowd, here to rally your inner spirit. What gives you that drive, you know? And it really disappoints me. It's really sad. I have a friend who, you know, I can't say I haven't been there before. You know, I'm sure I have. I know I have. Where this person says, I welcome death. The sooner it gets here, the better. And this person is not living with cancer. This person is living with addiction. And to hear the stories is hard for me to hear. And, you know, you meet all kinds of people when you explore trauma. And so in my life and through these trauma support groups and grief groups, you know, you hear this stuff a lot, and even the hopelessness in cancer patients. And, you know, it really hurts my heart, you know, because we're made for more. You know, we are meant to be social beings. And I said it in another live, and I'm copywriting this. So if any of you MFers out there steal this from me, like, I'm telling you, I'll go back and I'll find the video. But I look at, you know, the isolation that we experienced within the last decade, and the large closure of commerce and things that weren't necessary. You know, it's almost like we were wire monkeys. Oh, and I talked about this last week about the holding the hands during the Our Father at Mass. And guess what? Bob and I held hands tonight. And it's so different and so much more powerful of an experience when you have that with another person, other people. And, you know, we need that. You know, we were not meant to be wire monkeys hugging a wire mama. We are meant to interact. We are meant to help each other. We are not meant to live next to somebody for 20 years and never know their name and rush to our cars, go to work, and come home and hide in our houses. I don't believe that. I just don't. You may, and that's okay. I'm cool with how you feel. But, you know, we don't need to be fighting about all the things that we're fighting about. We just need to love each other. Let people be themselves. You know, your way is not always the right way. And just because you think some way, that's not the way the rest of the world thinks. And that's facts. So, I don't know. I talked about a lot of stuff tonight. So, like I said, it's like the Judy Miller show. A little bit wild, all over the place, a little crazy. Now I'm getting a hot flash. Oh, but I almost filled up my journal, and I got the new pink suede one. Oh, and I was wrong. They must have been on sale, but I thought I got them for $3, and they were $5 actually. I looked at the receipt, but then I went and picked up a new one, and it was $5.83 at the Family Dollar in Westfield. So, but I'm a big paper, the quality of paper that I write on makes a difference to me. Like when I was a student at Wartburg College, I would buy the Wartburg College notebooks because they had this really good thick paper, and I like writing with flare felt tip pens, and that leaks through the you're making me blush as always, Frank. And it bleeds through the paper, so I do not like chintzy paper, and the way your pen writes and flows, it definitely makes a big deal to me. So these journals have pretty decent paper. I like using, right now I'm writing with some gel pens. My Aunt Debbie sent me a pack of gel pens, and I actually writing in this journal, I used up one whole blue gel pen. I always used to laugh back in high school. It was always so funny. My boyfriend and I, He would use black pens and I would use blue pens, and we would always fight which color of ink, funny wise, which was better to use. Speaking of wanting things your way, but I never would ask him to switch to a blue pen, and he would never ask me to switch to a black pen. That was a strange place to stop. All right. Well, nobody's asked me questions. Nobody's nothing. I'm going to keep doing these lives on YouTube. Wow, I've been yapping my trap for almost an hour. Unbelievable. Oh, and I'm on my way quickly and rapidly to 10,000 followers on Facebook. So if you're the sharing kind and you don't mind, share the Shena show with somebody. They might like it or they might not. Either way, they're a fan, right? One thing I learned in public relations is actually even bad press is good press, because in particular, a person that's satisfied with an experience will tell 1 to 2 people about their positive experience, whereas a person that is dissatisfied will tell many, many more and reach approximately about 26 people. And then each of those people will tell an X amount of people. So that old saying that even bad press is good press is true. But as I continue to develop my content, so I'm excited. But going back to what I want to talk about was for creators. So I posted in one of the groups, and sorry, that microphone on YouTube is going to be making noise because I'm hitting the table. But I posted in one of my creator groups. I said, hey, look, I've followed like 1,700 of y'all or 1,200 of y'all, and here's 1,700, whichever it was. And I'm like, and I've gained like 600 followers, and that's it. So there are participation groups where we follow each other. We find creators we like. Sometimes we just follow each other to get to our followers, but you do find typically a handful or 2 of people that you find yourself regularly interacting with that you really enjoy. Not that you don't love everybody. It's just the way it kind of tends to work out. And it was commented in this creator group, well, I went to follow you, but I see you follow 0 people. All right, I kind of felt that way at once before too, and I was like, what's up with this? And I asked, and I noticed that people that are just learning to create, like what is like 4 for 4, 3 for 3? What are people talking about for numbers? And that's like, watch 3 of my reels, I'll watch 3 of yours. Follow F for F, follow for follow. But my bigger point is it does say that I follow 0 people. That's not true. I follow almost 8,000 people, and the people that I don't follow are friends and other people that aren't into the following game and have their settings differently. So, and you don't see that. And I turned off, it's a setting in Facebook, and I turned off the setting where you can see who all of somebody's followers are. It's just like for somebody that has a basic account where you can hide your friends list. So I took a screenshot of what I see on my end of how many people I'm following versus the goose egg that everybody sees. And the reason you want to do that is because if you have it where somebody can see your followers, we all see the people that say, hey, I've been thinking about you. I've got a very important message to tell you, and blah, 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 blah. Things are lighting in your favor. Like, girl, you're getting in touch with the universe. Okay, you open up your followers to scammers and spammers. And so that is why I'm not a snob. I follow a lot of people, darn it. So come on. It's a setting. And I felt the same way too before. I'm like, why are these people asking for followers but not following back? I get it, okay? Like, I've lived it. Now I know. Somebody explained it to me. So creators, help each other out. Go back to my lesson about all of us loving on each other and helping us out. The universe is abundant. There is enough in this universe for everybody. It is limitless. It's not like there's a limited supply of whatever. There's not. The universe gives freely and willingly. So, just have to be open to receive. and to receive in the right time and to believe and have blind faith. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Okay, well, that's enough for the night for me. I'm going to sign off, but I wanted to go live because I like to go live when I actually get myself looking pretty. And I've decided that I'm not going to pressure myself to get looking pretty every day to do lives. If you subscribe to my page, you will see that because that's a place where subscribers get to see Sheena behind the scenes. However, that will cost you $4.99 a month. Speaking of money, money, money. Oh, because I was talking about the church collection plate and giving to what you like. So when you support me as a creator, you're supporting me upgrading my iPad, upgrading my camera equipment, buying a boom mic or boom arm so I don't get the static if I bang the table I'm working on. All of these things. Oops, and I just banged. My foot hit it. So that's so when you subscribe to my channel, when you send me stars, and another thing about stars, each star is only a penny. So when you send 100 stars, you're sending what? Are you sending $1? My math doesn't math any longer since chemo. It's really difficult. And my math thing was difficult for me before then even. So that's always been my weakest subject. But let me run my mouth and we're good. So, yeah, speaking of running my mouth. So, I got to hit up a friend tomorrow to see if I can get some listen to her talk. So, she's from Italy and I am auditioning for a part in a series where I need a light Italian accent. And I keep watching Lady Gaga on YouTube and watching Italians speak English. And yeah, so, but right now it sounds like it's coming out like a mix of Southern accent and British. I'm doing my best. And I try to copy this woman who's this older lady who does the rosary. I like to watch on X Spaces. There's a father out of Africa, and so and then there's a nun from Italy who joins part of it, and I so I try to copy the way she talks. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready to share any of it with you yet, so until after. But move in silence. But I wanted to share somebody, so I'm laughing about this whole experiment and trying a different dialect and actually, doing some acting instead of being, this is my voice. If you want this is what you hire me for. I'm actually for the first time changing my voice for an acting to audition for an acting part. So that's kind of interesting. Speaking of, I'm scratchy. One of my my holistic my alternative preventative for cancer medicines that I'm using. I call it medicine, but it's food based and different based. But it makes my throat scratchy for a while when I use it. I notice it. So but we'll talk about that all some other time. Or if you want to have a private conversation with me about that, I will. Remember, everything that I talk on here is not intended to be taken as medical advice or treatment advice or anything that you should do. It is what I find that works best for me. And of course, always consult your doctor. All right? All that stuff. Okay. Peace and love. Love you all. It's Shena Collins. I'm signing off for the night. Send more smiles out into the world, more hugs, be yourself, get her done, put your big girl panties or big boy panties on and do it. You just have to do the hard work and don't give up and keep going. And oh, I have a stabbing migraine tonight, like pounding in my eye. It's from dealing with that dang insurance. Oh my gosh, I have so much to say about this stuff. But I'm proud of myself for being so calm tonight. And what I will attribute to part of getting through what I do is my faith and that calms me so much. So, especially participating in communion and having the opportunity as a Catholic to participate in communion every single time I attend church. So,
Just married, just married. You have no.
all right.
You are what you are.
Love you all. And be good. And I'm going to get on with my night. Oh, I am really sad that the plans that I wanted to do tonight and the event I wanted to attend, that did not work out. It's frustrating. Um, mm. So a little salty about all that. That goes back to talking about something flawed too. It got so wild. I got spit going like Mr. Duffy in 6th grade social studies class. All right. Love you all very much. It's time for me to go now. Okay. Now I always have trouble shutting off YouTube. Okay. I'm going to say bye on Facebook first. Bye. He's going to smoke a cigarette that's 9 miles long. Is that what he just said?
Then as God is my witness, I'm getting back into show business. I'm going to open up a nightclub called the Tree of Forgiveness and forgive everybody who ever done me any harm. Why am I even invite a few choice critics? Those syphilitic Pharisees.
Alexa, what's the name of this song?
This is When I Get to Heaven by John Prine.
Good song.
Oh, then I'm going to get a
All right, how do I shut YouTube down? Oh, here we go. Are you sure I want to stop streaming?